Burger King introduces a great new taste in burgers, the Double Deluxe.
Double or nothing, that's how I play. Got a great new taste and I got it my way.
Double flame broiled burgers, double melted cheese, crisp, sizzling bacon, lettuce, and tomato.
This is a Burger King town.
Try the Double Deluxe. No single fried lettuce and tomato burger comes close.
We know how burgers should be.
Hold it.
She gives me a quarter usually. 2, please.
One book reaches more homes, helping people find more goods and services. The official directory of New York Telephone. The 9X Yellow Pages. It's always there when you need it.
Sometimes a simple river crossing isn't so simple. And when you've got him back, it's your turn. Bush. Head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream, for a taste as smooth as its name. Bush. Head for Bush beer. Head for the mountains.
Bottom of the 12th inning, a 3-3 ball game. And the Reds coming up with Buddy Bell to lead off. Jesse Orozco in his second stint in this ball game as a pitcher. Started the game in the 10th inning. Picked up 1 out, gave up a base hit to Pete Rose, then left the game as Roger McDowell came in to pitch. Orozco going out to right field, replacing McDowell in right field, and then coming back in the game in the 11th inning with 2 men out to strike out Max Venable. And now with a right-hand batter coming up, Orozco to pitch to the right-hander. McDowell still in right field. And it will be Buddy Bell, Dave Parker, and we'll see whether or not they come up with another hitter for the third man. Buddy Bell in this ball game with a home run back in the 5th inning and 2 for 5. And a golf ball, it appears, tossed out of the field. Ball picked up by second base umpire Dana DeMuth. He might keep that one. And Orozco with a fastball. It's called a ball. Reds have won 5 of their last 7, 8 of their last 11, 10 of their last 14, and 13 of their last 18. And since May 11th, they have played the best ball in the Western Division of the National League. Reds started their action in 4th place, 6 games back of Houston. Of course, the Mets in 1st place, 12.5 games back is Montreal. 2-0 the count, and a strike call. It's 2-1. And Houston defeated Montreal tonight by a score of 1-0.
Again in the bottom of the 10th, their last at bat.
They have won 4 games in, let's see, is that 4 or 5 games in a row?
Yeah,
their last at bat.
that's right.
No, 4 games in a row. That other game was a 3-0 game.
Yeah, the shutout by Nipper on Friday to shut out the Mets for the first time this season. By the way, that was after 85 games. The only other team that in this century that's gone 85 games without a shutout, the Cincinnati Reds of 1970.
And there's a diving catch by Johnson. He's up throwing, and the throw to first base. Make that Carter. The throw to first base is not in time. Gary Carter with a diving try, making a sensational attempt here.
It really was. He smothers the ball. Now he picks it up. Bell does not run fast. And the throw is a little too late. Very close. Here it is again. The Mets are really resting on that 12.5 game lead, right? No way.
Oh,
no way.
Some kind of ball right here. Gallant try by Carter on that one.
Now visions and deja vu of Rusty Staub as Roger McDowell moves to left field. Mookie Wilson moves to right. And I'm love to see that box score tomorrow morning.
And the batter is Dave Parker. Parker with a home run in the third, a 2-run home run. And also it was Parker who gave the Mets 2 runs when, with 2 men out in the 9th inning, he dropped the fly ball to allow the Mets to score 2 unearned runs to tie the game at 3. Ted Powell going out to the bullpen to warm up.
John Denny just called over to Pete Rose down in the dugout, probably to ask him if he can go a couple innings if necessary, or to ask him to pinch run. We'll see.
Bell, a runner at first base. Mets not looking for a sacrifice, and the first pitch by Orozco outside for ball 1. Orozco pitched to Parker in the 10th inning and struck him out on a curveball.
Remember, Parker's batting average and power stats better against left-handed pitching this year than right-handers.
And his home run early in the ballgame in the 3rd inning was off the left-hander Bob Ojeda, his 20th home run of the year. He's 1 behind Mike Schmidt. 3-3 game. The Reds have out hit the Mets 13-9. The Reds have had 2 walks. The Mets have had a total of 8. And the breaking ball. 1-2, the count to Dave Parker. John Denny appears to be the pinch hitter for the Reds. When they will get to their pitcher in the batting order, that'd be after Parker. And now the pitch back, grounded in the hole, a base hit to right field. Bell goes to second base and holds there as Mookie gets it back in, and now the winning run is at second base with no one out as Parker singles to right field. And now with the Reds in a bunting situation, Carl Willis is going to bat instead of a pinch hitter.
I'll tell you what I'd do in this situation, Ralph. I'd bring two outfielders in, or at least one outfielder, and play the third baseman and first baseman right up close. Make Willis swing the bat. Forget about anything else. Bring Dykstra, bring Wilson, bring anybody in, fill the gaps in the infield, and put Hernandez 10 feet from home plate and Carter 10 feet from home plate. Because if this isn't the most obvious bunting situation, I've never seen one.
And Willis has not had an official at bat this year.
Plus, he's a left-hander facing Orozco.
Mets are not going to do that. They got their outfielders stationed at their normal positions. Hernandez right on top of Willis looking for the bunt. Carter in at third base guarding the line. And Hernandez sneaking even closer. The ball is butted to Hernandez. An easy play at third. They get the force play. Carter's throw to first is in time. A double play. So Hernandez, another one of those great plays, taking that ball right on top of the hitter and then throwing to third base for the out at third, and then Carter gunning the ball over to first base to Tuffle for the double play.
I guess when you have Hernandez, it's like having 2 or 3 extra outfielders in there. Watch this. 3, 5, 4. How many times you ever seen that double play completed? 3, 5, 4.
So now 2 men out, the winning run at second base as we look at it again.
Unbelievable. This is truly an epic affair.
Keith Hernandez with a sparkling double play. And now the batter coming up, Eddie Milner. Milner was struck out by Orozco back in the 10th inning. And the first pitch, a breaking ball, a called strike.
Get the feeling nobody's going to win this game.
They're going to run out of time. They're going to run out of players. They're going to run out of umpires' decisions. They're going to run out of protests.
Maybe announcers. Man.
1 strike the count to Eddie Milner. Winning run at second. And again, the curveball at strike 2. Milner says, that can't be. How can you call that a swinging strike? Orozco coming into this ball game with a record of 4 wins and 4 losses. Relieved by McDowell, and now relieving McDowell. And the fastball for a ball. It's 1-2. Once again, Orozco working to Milner, and that one called a ball. It's 2-2. Orozco, the 7th pitcher used. Winning run at second base, Dave Parker there. And at 2-2, the pitch to Milner. Curveball hit in the air to left center field. Dykstra's there. Also McDowell, and McDowell lets Dykstra, the sure man, make the play, and that ends the inning. No runs, 2 hits, a double play, 1 left in scoring position, and the score at the end of 12. The Mets 3 and the Reds 3. Now here's a word from AT&T.
AT&T is in the art of doing business.
So, Madame Dubois, did you receive our proposal for the American show?
Yes. But from what I see on your telex, I just do not think your gallery is right.
But what you're not seeing is the...
Nothing speaks to your business associates like you can. With AT&T International Long Distance Service, your ideas don't just come across, they come to life.
A room with light.
C'est très bien. Now, if you can just sell the paintings as well as you sold me.
AT&T, the right choice.
Hello. Ed's book on advertising says the consumer will remember your TV commercial better if it has a memorable visual device. Well, the message we would like you to remember is to be sure to enjoy Bartles and James on Ice this summer. You cannot find a lighter, more refreshing summertime beverage. As for the visual device, Ed says you will probably be able to figure that out all by yourself. So once again, please remember Bartles and James on Ice. And thank you for your continued support.
Every time you play the New Jersey Lottery, your dollars help handicapped children, aid higher education, improve geriatric care, and benefit homes for disabled veterans. The New Jersey Lottery provides more than $1 million a day to education and to state institutions. With the New Jersey Lottery, we're helping our Garden State grow.
Hard shot, the principal owner of the Cincinnati Reds, making your way up through the stands. And we'd like to remind you the news you won't have to rush home for. News 9 primetime tonight, right after the Mets, with the very latest in news, weather, and sports here on Channel 9. And we go to the top of the 13th. Tie ball game at 3, and the leadoff batter is Mookie Wilson, followed by a base hit by Mookie, and a single in the left field, and Mookie is on with no one out here in the 13th. Mookie grounded into a double play in the 9th when he batted for the first time, was walked intentionally in the 10th, and now with a single in the left center field as he leads off the 13th. Carl Willis, working in his 3rd inning, came into the ball game in the 11th. As you look at Pete Rose, Pete Rose, a pinch hitter in this ball game, came through with a base hit. And now officially out of the ball game as Len Dykstra steps up. Dykstra with a triple back in the 5th inning. 1 for 5 and also with a walk. And Mookie, a threat to steal, chased back by the throw by Carl Willis. In case you just joined us, both teams have used all their regular players. And a big fight on the field that took place when Eric Davis stole 3rd base, came into Ray Knight. Ray Knight objecting to the way he was handled by Davis at that point. Threw a punch, a right cross that got Davis appeared right on the chin, and that started a big brawl. Another fight breaking out afterwards. A long delay, and then the Mets losing some ball players as well as the Reds. Reds losing Eric Davis and I believe Mario Soto. The Mets losing Ray Knight, Kevin Mitchell. And a throw to first, Mookie almost picked up. Mookie moving towards second as that throw came over, scrambling back.
Watch Mookie has his foot up. His back foot, his left foot with the weight on his right foot, and almost leaning too far.
Now the pitch to Dykstra, missing away from the plate, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Dykstra batting for the first time against Willis. Willis had working his first 2 innings, giving up just 1 hit. Tim Tuffle, the on-deck batter. One and one the count. And the pitch high and outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Dykstra's triple back in the 5th inning scored the Mets' first run. It brought him back into the game. They were trailing 2-1 on Parker's 2-run home run. Reds added 1 more to make it 3-1, and then the Mets got the break of the ball game when Parker dropped a fly ball with 2 men out. Throw to first base. 2-run scoring, both unearned, to tie it at 9. Now we're in the top of the 13th. Mookie running with the pitch. A ball is hit down to Perez, and he makes a great play on Len Dykstra to take a base hit away, and he picks up the out at first. And on the diving stop by Perez, Wilson goes to second base.
Well, who says you can't play this game when you're 45 years old? Not Pete Rose and Tony Perez, or Pete Rose and Tony Perez, that's for sure.
So a runner at second base and 1 away. And the batter will be Tim Tuffle. Tuffle doubled in the 9th inning. That set it up for the Mets to have runners at second and third base, and they scored on the error by Parker on a drive by Keith Hernandez. And the first pitch to Tuffle, called strike.
Ralph, I was down there in the Mets dugout when that fight broke out, and I'm telling you, there were some eyes full of fire on both sides, really.
It was one of the more serious fights that I have seen. And a check in the swing. They count 1 ball and 1 strike. Carl Willis in his 11th game for the Cincinnati Reds. Originally drafted by the Angels, but returned to the Reds after a minor league draft. Off-speed pitch and a good one. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Tuffle way out in front. Willis really with some good downward movement. We've seen a lot of those pitches going down in the strike zone in this game. And we've seen a lot of pitchers out there. How many pitches have we had? 12?
Mets have had 7 technically, as Orozco has pitched twice, and 5 for the Cincinnati Reds. You looked at Keith Hernandez in the on-deck circle. Keith's had a great night tonight again.
Well, what a play on that bunt.
1 and 2 of the count. And again, Tuffle goes after the downer and is struck out. So now 2 men away, and Keith Hernandez a batter, and we'll see if they'll pitch to him.
First strikeout for Carl Willis, as again he pulls a string on Tuffle, and Tuffle, exasperated, can only go back to the dugout.
So Keith Hernandez a batter, and they're going to walk him. On deck batter Gary Carter. So they're going right-hand pitcher against right-hand batters. Keith will be walked. Hernandez walked in the 1st, doubled in the 3rd, singled in the 5th, grounded into a double play in the 7th inning, was safe on a 2-base error by Parker in the 9th that tied the ball game with 2 unearned run scoring, and then doubling in the 11th. And there's ball 3. Carter has not had a hit in this game. Ninth walk for the Mets in this game. Make that the 10th walk for the Mets in this game. And it brings up Gary Carter. Carter walked intentionally in the 11th inning. And it paid off as they picked up a double play on Ed Hearn right after the intentional walk. So Carter hitless in the ball game. 0 for 4. Make that 0 for 5. And batting here with the go-ahead run at second base in the form of Mookie Wilson. And the first pitch is missed. Carter second in the National League in runs batted in, trailing Mike Schmidt by 1. Carter was 70. And it's hit foul off to the right side out of play.
Well, it doesn't seem too long ago, Ralph, that we were talking about how many 3-hour-plus games the Mets have played. That's rather academic at the moment, as we are over 4.5 hours.
Mets lead the National League in games 5 hours and 29 minutes long. That happened Sunday. And a strikeout. Carl Willis with a go-ahead run at second, striking out Gary Carter to end the inning. 1 hit, a walk, and 2 men left on base to score at the end of 12.5 innings. It's the Mets 3 and the Cincinnati Reds 3. Now here's a word from Busch Beer.
Sometimes a simple river crossing isn't so simple. And when you've got him back, it's your turn. Busch. Head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream, for a taste as smooth as its name. Busch. Head for Busch beer. Head for the mountains.
Getting where you want to go takes more than hard work. It takes intelligent planning. At Manufacturers Hanover Trust, we show you how to save even when you borrow. How to use credit that costs less without settling for less. How to use not just your money, but our money as well to build yourself a more rewarding future. Manufacturers Hanover. We realize your potential.
When you've got the hottest trucks in America, you don't need gimmicks. All you need is the hottest deal in America. And Nissan's got it. 5.7% annual percentage rate factory-sponsored financing on every Nissan hardbody truck. You could save $829 on this hardbody regular bed and up to $1,980 on this King Cab 4x4. So talk to your participating Nissan dealer today. Who says you need gimmicks to sell a great truck? The name is Nissan.
Burger King introduces a great new taste in burgers, the Double Deluxe.
Double or nothing, that's how I play. Got a great new taste and I got it my way.
Double flame broiled burgers, double melted cheese, crisp, sizzling bacon, lettuce, and tomato.
This is a Burger King town.
Try the Double Deluxe. No single fried lettuce and tomato burger comes close.
We know how burgers should be.
Top of the bottom of the 13th, Orozco in right field. McDowell, the old pitcher in the ball game. And here is Steve Zabriskie.
Wade Rowden hits the first pitch deep in the hole. Johnson with a long throw in time to get Rowden at first base. And the Mets have had some outstanding infield defense here in extra innings. Rowden now 1 for 6. And here's Tony Perez. Tony's 2 for 4 plus a walk. He singled to center twice in the 2nd and in the 11th. He was the winning run at 2nd in the 11th, but was stranded there. In fact, the Reds have had the winning run in scoring position in each of the last 4 innings. The 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And the sinker is in there for strike 1. One and one. Way back before the fight, before the 2-base error that tied the game, Tony Perez picked up career hit number 2,700 in the 2nd inning. So he has 2,701 now. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Tony and Pete Rose with 6,948 hits.
Line drive to Jesse Orozco, who hauls it in. 2 away.
And Orozco getting his first put out of this ball game as a right fielder.
Everybody's a utility player now. Well, pitchers do a lot of shagging of fly balls during batting practice, so most of them know how to move around in the outfield and adjust to a ball in the air. And Orozco and McDowell, as Tim said earlier, both outstanding athletes. Ron Oster, 1 for 5 plus a sacrifice, takes strike one. Oster singled to right back in the 9th. 2 out and nobody on. Bottom of the 13th. 1-1. I wonder how many baseballs have been used in this game.
In the 15-inning ball game the Mets just played with Houston last Sunday, there were over 550 pitches made by both teams. In other words, a total of over 550 pitches.
I figure they had to use close to 300 baseballs. Maybe. Just outside. 2-1. And again just outside, and the count 3 balls 1 strike. Sal Butera, the catcher, on deck. Bo Diaz caught the first half of these 13 innings. Fouled away. So the count 3-2. How about that play by Gary Carter at third base? 2 good ones, really. The stop on the infield base hit, and then the completion of the double play when Keith Hernandez, as only he can do, grabbed that bunt and turned it into a double play. On the ground to second, Tuffle to Hernandez, and an easy inning for McDowell here in the 13th. We'll go to the bottom of 13, still tied, or rather the top of 14. We'll be all right. Still tied at 3 after this for the good old Skies.
A new import earns the right to be your car. It's not from Osaka or Tokyo, not from Milan, Stockholm, Stuttgart, or Paris. This car is imported from the middle of America. The all-new Delta 88 from Oldsmobile. For a sticker price of under $13,000, Delta 88 may raise all standards in a full-size car. Other imports may have some catching up to do. Delta 88, imported from the middle of America.
From your good old guy.
What's he doing now?
Hey, he's looking kind of funny at his cigar.
Bet it's the wrapper.
How come?
Most cigars don't use natural leaf wrappers anymore. Now, Garcia Vega's still an honest cigar. Garcia Vega still gives you the rich tobacco taste of natural leaf wrappers.
Hey, he's doing it again.
He ought to switch to an honest cigar.
Garcia Vega, still an honest cigar.
He's doing it again.
Hold it.
She gives me a quarter usually. 2, please.
One book reaches more homes, helping people find more goods and services. The official directory of New York Telephone. The 9X Yellow Pages. It's always there when you need it.
For those of you who joined us late, or even if you didn't, just to recap what happened, the big event in the 9th inning, here's how the fight started.
Eric Davis stealing third base, and now as shoving match starts, watch Ray Knight. Right hand cross, and the fight starts. Here they come. Off both benches, and it's a brawl. After about 15 minutes, they finally got it all settled down. Ray Knight ejected from the ball game. Eric Davis ejected. Mario Soto was taken out of the ball game. Kevin Mitchell left the ball game. And the Mets now playing here as we look at the top of the 14th, still in the 3-3 tie.
And that's not all that's happened tonight. Both managers are playing this game under protest because of unusual circumstances. Ed Hearn leading off, swings and misses a breaking ball for strike one. Hearn in the ball game 0 for 1. Wake that 0 for 2. He was struck out and grounded into a double play. And he hits it in the air to right center field, and it falls in for a base hit. And Parker and Milner both kicking it around, allowing Hearn to go into second base. Milner looked like he was going to make a play on the ball and then thought better of it and let it drop in, and on the turf it almost bounced over both their heads.
So Hearn comes up with a two-base hit. Milner afraid to go after that ball because of the high bounce, still can't handle it. Parker finally picks it up. Hearn goes in, and it'll be a two-base hit. So the Mets have the go-ahead run at second base with no one out in the top of the 14th.
And Jesse Orozco, the hitter, talking to third base coach Bud Harrelson.
Mets have Orozco as the next batter and McDowell as the following batter as Ted Powers throws in the bullpen.
Power, who was up earlier, throwing again. So Jess and Bud have their conference. Pete Rose looking on. How about Pete studying that rule book?
Love it.
He doesn't miss one angle.
Reds protesting the ball game. And of course, the Mets protesting the ball game.
And appropriately, here we are in the 14th, tied at 3. And it may not be decided on the field. If one of the two protests is upheld, depending on the outcome, the protest could decide it. What a weird night. Orozco grounded to second his first time up in the 12th inning. And he's there to bunt, and he takes high, ball 1. And the Reds put the rotation play on with Rowden coming to cover third and Bell charging from third.
Jesse is a proficient hitter as a pitcher. He can fake the bunt and hit away.
Mets with a go-ahead run at second base. Ed Hearn leading off the 14th inning with a double. And Orozco takes inside, ball 2.
There are two ways to beat the rotation play. One is to swing away and not bunt, and the other is to take the pitch.
Rowden is doing a good job of trying to keep Ed Hearn close by moving in toward the pitcher's mound before he breaks for third. And Hearn, of course, not a great deal of speed. And Jesse pulls back and takes high, ball 3.
So now the take sign will be on. Jesse having trouble with the sign, so Bud Harrelson's going to talk to him. The on-deck batter, Roger McDowell.
When in doubt, get it verbally. Pitchers probably only memorized the bunt sign anyway. Rotation play again. Orozco takes strike 1. It's 3-1.
Willis is working his 4th inning. Came in the ball game in the 11th.
And that base hit, the third that he has allowed. It's coming into the game, and now Jesse's not sure still what the sign is. Ed Hearn carrying the go-ahead run at second with nobody out. And Orozco squaring early and taking low for ball 4. So runners at first and second with nobody out, and here comes Pete out of the dugout, as he may elect to go to Ted Power here, and that's what he's going to do. So while Power comes in with a score tied 3-3 and the Mets having 2 men aboard with nobody out on the 14th, we'll pause for this word from the good old Sky.
Want to know how I know it's time to feed these babies? When my morning delivery comes from Prontolator. You're a later. That's correct.
Frank, it's time for your 10:15 meeting.
How did you know that?
The man is here from Prestolator.
Purelator.
That is what I said.
No, you didn't.
Lots of people depend on Purelator Courier, but they still have a little trouble with our name.
It's coffee time. Here
For dependability you'll never forget, remember Pure Elator Courier.
Out here, a thunderstorm rolls in fast. Sometimes too fast. And when they're taken care of, it's your turn. Push. Head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream. For a taste as smooth as its name. Push.
Head for Bush.
Head for the mountains.
Hey, Taurus, hey, Motor Trend Car of the Year.
Thunderbird, right?
Yeah, car of the ages. Hey, where you from?
Fairfield County. We love it.
Oh, tough. Are you getting your chrome polish?
A 7,500-mile checkup. Life's tough in Connecticut.
Yo, sure it is.
Come see the front-wheel drive Taurus, and don't pass up the Thunderbird. New low 6.9 financing or up to $600 in cash back. It's worth the trip wherever you're from.
You ever been to Brooklyn, Taurus?
Yes, once.
Is your car losing power because of clogged fuel injectors? Texaco Super Unleaded with Petrox detergent helps clean clogged injectors and keeps them clean.
Ted Power, the new pitcher for Cincinnati, he has a record of 4-5. He has had one save, an earned run average of 5.05. He has worked 46 in the third innings. He has given up 54 hits, walking 25 and striking out 33. This is his 36th appearance, and he comes in with runners at first and second and no one out here in the 14th.
And he faces Roger McDowell, who looked like he might be squaring and then swung away for strike one. McDowell grounded to third his first time up. Or short, I should say.
That's close enough.
He grounded to the left side. And a hacking swing for strike two. I got my new glasses from Ben Bonafide, the optician for the Mets, and they work great.
But they're out of style
But
now.
I can't read my own writing. It's not the glasses, Ben. It's just me. McDowell now having a conference with Harrelson. With the count 0-2. And Roger trying to bunt now with 2 strikes is out of there. First strikeout for Power. Carl Willis incidentally went 3+ innings. Here's the strikeout.
And it's a breaking ball. Rogers swinging away at the first 2, obviously missed one of the signs anyway, and then called on the try and bunt with a 2-strike count. So the strikeout 1 away, and it brings up Howard Johnson.
Johnson is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice, even though he reached on a pass ball back in the 9th inning, and he lined out to left his last time up. And a little bit high, I guess. Looked pretty good, but it's ball 1. Willis, whom Power replaced, went 3+ innings. Gave up 3 hits, struck out 2, walked 3, and he's responsible for both the base runners out there. Check swing foul, and the count 1-1. Mookie Wilson on deck. And you know you've had a long night when guys who entered the game in the 4th inning are up for the 4th time. I mean in the 9th inning. As did Johnson. They're up for the 4th time. Top of the 14th. 3-3 tie. Off-speed delivery just missed. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, today it'll be Ron Darling against Browning.
Later today over most of these same stations. Fouled back. 2-2 to Howard Johnson. Well, we're pushing up on that 5-hour mark again.
Mets in games over 3 hours, and of course this one included, have played a total of 35.
Out of a total of 90 games. This is their 90th game of the year. That's more than a third of the games. Seems like more than that have gone 3 hours. 2-2 to Johnson with 1 out and 2 on. And he hits it deep to right field. Parker going back. It's Tater time. This ball's out of here. Howard Johnson with a 3-run home run in the top of the 14th inning off Ted Power. And the Mets lead 6-3.
Look at it again. It's a hanging slider, just right perfectly thrown for a home run, and that's what they got. Johnson taking that ball over the left field face, his 6th over the left field fence, his 6th home run. He gets his 19th, 20th, and 21st RBIs, and the Mets now lead for the first time by a score of 6-3.
Mookie Wilson, the batter, still only 1 out. And what remained of this crowd, about, I'd say, half of the 25,000 or so that were on hand were still here. About half of those folks are now getting up and leaving. Howard Johnson, who has had a number of dramatic hits for the Mets in his short tenure in New York, does it here in the 14th. And Mookie with a shot in the hole, and Oster with a great play, and he throws him out. 2 away.
Well, Ron Oster playing fine defense on this play as Mookie tries to leg it out. It's very close at first. Oster makes a diving stop. Comes up throwing, and the call of out by Doug Harvey at first base. Good call.
And as Tim mentioned earlier, these guys are competitors. Oster, even though the Mets just took a 3-run lead, going all out after that ball as Dykstra fouls this one off down the left field line for strike 1. Lenny is 1 for 6 with an RBI triple and a walk and a run score. And a high bouncer to short. Wade Rowden just does get him at first, and the inning is over. But Howard Johnson's 6th home run of the year, a 3-run shot here in the 14th inning, has given the New York Mets a 6-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the 14th here in Cincinnati after this for Diet Right Cola.
Dad, help me get in shape. I feel like I've lost the edge.
You've lost the edge?
Everybody's got a diet right. It doesn't matter who you are. It's gonna be a tough fight. So give yourself the greatest taste.
I bet you didn't know that Diet Right has no salt. Technically speaking, Dad, it's sodium. I've been avoiding salt myself for 4 or 5 years now. Furthermore, I like the way Diet Right.
I'm an avid racing fan, and OTB offers me everything that I need.
You get the live picture of the individual races here at John Street, which is only adds to the enjoyment of horse racing. I'm an exotic player. I love to play triples, exactas, quinellas, double exactas, now the pick 6.
I also love the fact that they show races lately, which they never did before.
OTB is good to be open 7 days a week. I wish we had another extra day to be open too.
New York City OTB, changing for the better.
I really like OTB.
Hitting home runs is the fun part of my job. Catching is the tough part, the sweaty part. But you won't catch me showering with deodorant soap. I made a break from all that. A clean break with Ivory. Look, that's basic, natural, honest soap. Not like soaps that cover you with smelly perfumes or deodorant. What's that got to do with clean? Ivory's clean is an honest clean. You can smell it, you can feel it.
Make a clean break, because you just can't beat Ivory's Honest Clean.
Even when you got a special date.
After 4 straight losses, Roger McDowell has a chance to win his 8th here, thanks to Howard Johnson's dramatic 3-run home run in the top of the 14th. As Roger will pitch the bottom of the 14th to face Sal Butera, Max Venable, and Buddy Bell. And Butera, it's the first pitch on the ground to short. Howard Johnson throws him out with a little help from Keith Hernandez, 1 away. Butera 0 for 3. the game were still tied, I would imagine Jesse would be trotting in from right field right now to face Max Venable. But since the Mets now have a 3-run lead, it's not necessary.
But if they get Venable on and Bell on, you have Dave Parker coming up, a left-handed batter, and I'm sure they would bring in Orozco then. Parker would represent the tying run.
And Jesse struck out Parker back in the 10th. Bouncer foul, and the count 1-1 to Venable. Max has been in there the whole night. Played center for the first half of the game and then moved to left. He's had 1 hit and 4 official at bats. He's also sacrificed and been walked intentionally. One out, nobody on. The Mets up by 3 in the 14th. And another bounder in foul territory. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
This is really a difficult game to stomach as far as the Cincinnati Reds are concerned, and also Pete Rose. Reds had it won except for the fact that Parker dropped a fly ball for the final out of the ball game.